Still trying to convince the MAGA-verse that he didn't blow it on Tuesday night against Kamala Harris, even though he is clearly terrified of facing her again. If you won't feel an earthquake if you're wearing Crocs. They act as a shock absorber, and you're totally safe if you wear them. That's true. I learned that from J.D. Vance. The voters and voter polls showed it, but the fake news media wasn't giving the credit that was due. Wow. Remember, I wasn't debating one person. I was debating three. They should fire everybody at ABC Fake News. And it was 3-1. Trump got humiliated by Kamala, the moderators, and by himself, primarily.
Did you see Trump's dance with Melania at MSG? It was like watching two robots try to slow dance at a middle school prom. Even the Statue of Liberty cringed. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video, but wait, there's more. Jimmy Kimmel didn't hold back, calling it the nuttiest Trump event of all time. And boy, did that get Donnie's Twitter fingers twitching. Alright folks, buckle up, because Trump's Madison Square Garden shindig was a real doozy. Our favorite orange-tinted reality TV star turned politician decided to grace the Big Apple with his presence. And boy, did he deliver a show, but not the kind he was hoping for. Trump strutted into MSG like he owned the joint, probably expecting New York to roll out the red carpet. Instead, he got a crowd that looked more confused than a cat in a dog park. As he started his speech, you could almost hear the collective groan from the hot dog vendors outside. Our boy Donnie decided to take a trip down memory lane, regaling the audience with tales of his imaginary bone spurs. Yeah, because nothing says presidential like bragging about dodging the draft. But wait, there's more. He then claimed he single-handedly saved Christmas. I guess Santa's been slacking on the job, huh?
According to Rolling Stone, members of Trump's inner circle think another debate would be a bad idea. They say his performance was so disappointing, he doesn't know whether to call it Eric or Don Jr. at this. He disobeyed their own rule in favor of complete and total election interference. I did nothing wrong. They did. You won't feel an earthquake if you're wearing Crocs. They act as a shock absorber, and you're totally safe if you wear them. That's true. I learned that from J.D. Vance. Nice, even for a few seconds, to be rattled by something other than the election this morning.
As Trump's rambling reached new heights of absurdity, the crowd started to look like they were watching a foreign film without subtitles. You could see the gears turning in their MAGA-capped heads, trying to make sense of the word salad being tossed their way. It was like watching a train wreck in slow motion, but with more covfefe and less coherence. The real kicker, as Trump's speech got weirder and weirder, people started eyeing the exits like they were all-you-can-eat buffets. Talk about a captive audience. I mean, when your political rally starts to feel like a hostage situation, you know you've got problems. Enter Jimmy Kimmel, our late-night hero, who didn't pull any punches. He dubbed the spectacle the nuttiest Trump event of all time. And let's be real, that's saying something. It's like being crowned the most orange in a competition of Oompa Loompas. But hold on to your MAGA hats, folks, because the main event was yet to come. Just when everyone thought they'd seen it all, the real star of the show was about to make her grand entrance. And by grand, I mean reluctant and slightly terrifying.
Still trying to convince the MAGA-verse that he didn't blow it on Tuesday night against Kamala Harris, even though he is clearly terrified of facing her again. Kamala should focus on what she should have done during the last almost 4-year period. There will be no third debate. For 60 days prior to an election, the Department of Injustice is supposed to do absolutely nothing that would taint or interfere with said election. I guess when you eat as many buckets of chicken as Donald Trump does, eventually you turn into one.
Well, folks, it looks like the Trump family circus rolled into town, and boy, did Melania steal the show by looking like she'd rather be anywhere else. Our favorite reluctant first lady made a rare appearance at MSG, probably to fulfill some contractual obligation, or maybe just to remind us she still exists. As Melania stepped onto the stage, you could almost hear the collective gasp of surprise from the audience. Is that really her? But don't worry, folks, it was indeed the one and only Melania Trump, looking about as thrilled as a cat getting a bath. Her expression was so forced, it made a kid eating Brussels sprouts look like they were at Disneyland. But wait, it gets better. Jimmy Kimmel, our resident Trump roaster-in-chief, couldn't resist taking a few jabs at the awkward couple. He pointed out their chemistry, saying it was positively smoldering. And by smoldering, he meant it had all the warmth and passion of a dumpster fire in the middle of winter. Now let's talk about that almost kiss between Donald and Melania. It was like watching two robots trying to figure out human affection after reading a manual written by aliens. You know those awkward middle school dances where nobody wants to touch each other?
It was 3 against 1. Trump got humiliated by Kamala, the moderators, and by himself, primarily. The voters and voter polls showed it, but the fake news media wasn't giving the credit that was due. Wow. Remember, I wasn't debating one person, I was debating 3. They should fire everybody at ABC Fake News.
The teleprompter just went out.
Dodging a debate makes him look like the coward that he is. And she challenged him to another one immediately. He wants no part of it.
Yeah, this was worse. Way worse. As the night wore on, Melania's expression got frostier than a New York winter. It was so cold, people in the front row were considering offering her their coats. But let's be real, folks. No coat could warm up that icy stare. Body language experts had a field day with this one. They said Melania greeted Trump like he was a delivery guy, dropping off a package she didn't even order. Talk about emotional distance. It's like they were on the world's worst Tinder date, except they're actually married. Yikes. But hey, maybe we're all just misreading the situation. Maybe Melania's discomfort had nothing to do with her husband. Maybe she was just worried about the MSG in the air messing up her hair. Or perhaps she was doing some intense Kegel exercises. Who knows? Well, folks, it looks like our orange friend's approval ratings are taking a nosedive faster than his hair in a windstorm.
The Tan Andreas fault, our former president Donald Trump, is cracking under pressure. His tectonic plates are moving a lot lately. Trump had a spin out last night on his website, Pravda Social. He wrote, "People are just starting to give me credit for having a great debate. When a prize fighter loses a fight, the first words out of his mouth are, 'I want a rematch.' Polls clearly show that I won the debate against comrade Kamala Harris." But wait, what happened to this guy?
Anytime, anywhere, anyplace.
Somehow he went from anytime, anywhere, any place to there will be no third debate.
Turns out, not being able to take a joke isn't exactly winning him any popularity contests. Who knew? Recent reports suggest that Trump's Twitter tantrums over Kimmel's roasts are making him look about as in touch with the public as a flip phone at an iPhone convention. It's like he's playing a game of how to lose friends and alienate people. And he's winning. But hey, maybe this is all part of Trump's master plan. You know, make everyone think he's lost his marbles so they'll be super impressed when he remembers how to spell his own name. At this rate, he might need to change his campaign slogan to "Make America Cringe Again." Stay tuned, folks. This comedy show is far from over.